Money makes the world go round, but do you know the economic concepts that make it all possible? In this video, we'll cover the key economic concepts that everyone should know, no matter what their educational background is. From supply and demand to comparative advantage, get ready to expand your economic knowledge and impress your friends with your new insights. I'll explain these key economic concepts on a very high level so everyone can follow whatever your educational background might be. The most fundamental concept in economics is of supply and demand. When many people want a product and there isn't enough of it, the prices go up. When there is a lot of product and not many people want it, the prices go down. Second closely related topic to supply and demand is inflation. When things cost more money over time, it's called inflation. This means that the money you have today won't buy as much as it could have in the past. This usually happens when there is more demand than supply of those goods and services. So we usually get inflation numbers in percentages, like current US inflation is 5%, which means that the typical goods that you buy and the services that you use are on an average 5% more than what they were last year. Prices can rise at different rates, but it is an average percentage at which prices for these goods and services have increased over time. So it can decrease the purchasing power of our money and can lead to higher prices for everyone. So, understanding inflation is crucial for making informed decisions about investments, saving, and your spending. If you want to know more about inflation in detail, I have made several videos on inflation, so you can check those out here. The next concept is called GDP or gross domestic product. It is like a report card of the economy. It tells how much money the people in the economy and the businesses have made in one year. So GDP is a measure of the economic output of a country and is used to track the overall health of the economy. It represents the total value of goods and services produced within a country's border in a given period of time, typically a year. Next important concept that you should know about is called fiscal policy. The government can help the economy by spending money when things are bad and not spending as much when things are good. So, the fiscal policy refers to the taxation and spending behavior of the government. The next important concept is monetary policy. So, the government can also help the economy by changing how much interest people have to pay when they borrow money. This can make it easier or harder for people like you and me to buy things. So, in other words, monetary policy is the use of interest rates and other tools by the central bank to manage the money supply and influence economic activity. For example, a central bank may lower interest rate to encourage borrowing and stimulate economic growth, or can raise interest rate to cool the inflation. The next important concept that everyone should know about is called opportunity cost. Whenever you make a choice, you have to give up something else. The thing you give up is called the opportunity cost. So, opportunity cost just refers to the cost of choosing one option over another and is a key economic concept in decision making. When making decision, individual and businesses must weigh the potential benefits of each option against the opportunity cost of choosing the other option. A student deciding whether to attend a football game or to study for an upcoming exam. If he decides to attend the football game, the opportunity cost is the time and effort they could have spent studying for the exam. Alternatively, if the student decides to study for the exam, the opportunity cost is the experience of attending the football game and the social interaction that comes with it. So, in this case, the opportunity cost of attending the football game is the lower grade that the student may receive on the exam. Similarly, the opportunity cost of studying for the exam is the fun and enjoyment the student would have had by attending a football game. So, opportunity cost is important to consider because it helps us to make better decisions by weighing the potential benefits and cost of different options. By understanding this concept, we can make more informed decisions and ultimately achieve our goals more effectively. Another related concept is called trade off. When you have to choose between two things, You have to give up one thing to get the other. This is called a trade-off. In economics, individuals and businesses must make trade-off when deciding how to allocate resources such as their time, money, and labor. Lastly, we have something called comparative advantage. So, how do I explain this in simple words? Okay, so this is a difficult term, but it just tells you that everyone is better at doing something than others. Comparative advantage is when someone is better at making something than someone else. This is why countries trade with each other. So, comparative advantage refers to the ability of a country or an individual to produce a good or services at a lower opportunity cost than other person or country would, so that they can trade with each other and get mutual benefit. A person or a country can have absolute advantage in making all those things better and faster or more efficiently, but they have to choose which one they are best at. So, how does this benefit the countries? Let's understand this with the help of China and US trade. So, China and US have different comparative advantages in the global economy. China has a comparative advantage in producing low cost manufactured goods, while the US has a comparative advantage in producing high tech goods and services. So, for example, China produces a large amount of electronics and textiles, and it is able to produce these goods at a lower cost than many other countries due to its lower labor cost. The US, on the other hand, has a comparative advantage in producing cutting edge technology such as computer chips and software. So, this means that China can produce electronics and textiles more efficiently and at a lower cost than the US, while the US can produce high tech goods more efficiently and at a lower cost than China. By specializing in their respective areas of comparative advantage, both countries can benefit from trade with each other, which can lead to increased economic growth and prosperity for both the countries. So that's it, guys. I try to explain these key economic concepts in a very simple manner. I hope you understood them. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you found today's information useful. And I'll see you soon in my next video. Take care. Bye.